Hey everyone, and welcome back to Spiral Emanations, where we turn the headlines inside out and discover the mysteries swirling underneath. I'm Skye Gracely, broadcasting all the way from sunny Los Angeles, and I am so glad you're tuning in.
And I'm Reece Barrows, beaming in from London. Always a pleasure to untangle the hidden with you, Skye.
Today's episode is a wild one. We're diving straight into what's being called the Aurillac bee incident, a swarm attack in southern France that left 24 people hurt and some truly bizarre aftermath. But before we get to our guest, just want to say, did you know that Bastille Day is coming up in a few days over in France? I kind of love how July just feels supercharged with energy, especially this week, I guess.
I have to agree. Summer just brings out the strange, and given what's been happening around Aurillac, I think celebration energy may have a rival this year.
Okay, quick funny story. I actually went to my local farmer's market last weekend, and there were way more bees than usual circling the wildflower stand. I kept thinking, is this like a little sign from the universe?
You know, I was at Regent's Park here in London earlier this week. There's an entire collection of new hives next to the rose garden. The bees are definitely up to something majestic or slightly suspicious.
If bees are planning some kind of global floral takeover, I feel like your detailed worry vibes and my chill LA vibe would balance each other out. Like, who would they go for first?
I'd vote for the relaxed aura. California's sunshine must be more appealing to the Melissae, don't you think?
And if you're wondering why our voices sound so clean right now, that's all thanks to Brian, our sound genius behind the scenes. He's the one making sure you're not drowning in pops, clicks, or accidental bee buzzing. Speaking of buzzing, let's bring in our guest. Joining us is Dr. Milo Zanis. He's a psychoentomologist and the creator behind the Swarm Mind channel. He studies everything from insect superorganisms to ancient bee magic and somehow makes it all sound cool on TikTok.
Milo, welcome to Spiral Emanations. Tell the listeners where you're dialing in from today.
Cheers, Skye. Cheers, Reece. It's awesome to be here. I'm in Athens at the moment, right near a rooftop apiary. So if the connection gets a little, swarmy, you'll know why.
We are so excited to have you. Today we're talking about bees, priestesses, ancient guardians, and the strange phenomenon shaking up France and, honestly, the whole world.
So, for everyone just catching up, a story broke this week that feels right out of a folk-horror film. In Aurillac, France, an aggressive swarm of bees attacked dozens of people. 4 ended up with stings, 3 are still in the hospital, and there was even, I believe, a cardiac arrest sustained before stabilization.
That's just super scary. I always thought that bees only get aggro if you totally mess with them or something. I mean, does this even happen, or is it weird?
Oh, swarms can absolutely occur, but this was an unusually targeted event. There's immediate coverage everywhere, but even scientists are puzzled by the bees' selectiveness and timing. It's not unheard of for hives to get hostile, but the pattern here just doesn't fit. Local people are calling it unnatural, which, of course, makes it our kind of story.
So, Milo, you study insects in a really unique way, science and legend. How did you get started connecting the dots between actual bees and, the mystical side?
Good question. I grew up half in Athens, half in Melbourne. So my dad's family had ancient bee legends, Melissae, oracles, that sort of thing. And my mum's side was all about keeping backyard hives in Australia. I basically grew up with bees in my ears and bee stories in my head. When I started doing academic work, neuroethology, which is how insects think and communicate, I kept running into these gaps where science stopped but myth kept going. Eventually, I just stopped trying to separate the two. Now I try to bring both together on my live streams because, honestly, after some of the experiments and fieldwork I've done, the veil between legend and science gets awfully thin sometimes.
Perfect. Because if there's any episode for blurred boundaries, it's this one. You've commented on your channel, Milo, that what happened in Aurillac isn't just an outburst of stressed bees. There's old myth echoing here, the Melissae. Can you walk us through who the Melissae actually were?
Absolutely. The Melissae were legendary bee priestesses, real historical figures in ancient Greece, and before that, in parts of Gaul and even Anatolia. They were oracles, healers, guardians, women who worked magic and tended to sacred hives at powerful places in the landscape. Ancient people believed the Melissae could communicate with bees. Bees weren't just insects. They were seen as messengers between our world, the Earth's energies, and the gods. If you wanted guidance or healing or protection, you went to a Melissae.
Sorry, wait, so these priestesses weren't like bee people, right? I mean, they didn't have, like wings or antennae or anything?
Ha! No wings. Just a super deep spiritual connection to bees and to Earth's sacred energy. A lot of myths exaggerate, but the real power was in their rituals and their trance states. And Aurillac, where the attack happened, was a stronghold of bee priestess rites in ancient times. Legend has it, the last queen Melissae, her name was Agidia, performed a hugely powerful ritual there right as the Romans invaded.
This is that idea of the ancient hive being tied to a specific spot, the psychic anchor?
Yeah, exactly. The priestesses bound their collective consciousness and the power of the bees into a living hive at a precise energy node. Their pact was, remain dormant unless sacred boundaries are violated by forbidden magic. What's mind-blowing is that you see a similar theme at other ancient sites. Delphi, Stonehenge, even Chichen Itza. Ritual guardianship, hive consciousness, ley lines. The pattern is everywhere if you know how to look.
That's the web, the underlying current, coming through in the physical and the mythic both. The news barely scratches it.
Okay, so I have to ask, how does a group of TikTok occult kids actually set something like this off? Is it really that easy to trigger ancient magic?
It's a strange time, Skye. There's this trend now. Urban explorers and occult fans live stream themselves doing rituals at ancient sites to go viral. In Aurillac, a group found these half-translated fragments, probably Melissae related, and decided to try a solemnity ritual on Instagram Live. Instead of a bit of drama for their followers, they accidentally tripped the ritual tripwire. The psychic defenses Aegidia set up centuries ago got switched back on. The hive awakened and reacted.
That's like the wildest version of be careful what you wish for. But was the attack just, random? Or did the bees pick people on purpose?
Not random at all. The Melissae consciousness is actually testing the local population. Only certain people got stung, and those who did, a handful of them woke up with golden spiral marks, usually on the arm or chest. And here's the part that's honestly getting peer-reviewed and still sounds bonkers. Those marked individuals started healing old injuries ridiculous fast. They've had flashes of insight, empathic sensations, and most notably, intense shared dreams that link them to other spiral-marked people across continents. The legend always said the honey of the priestess hive would awaken the chosen. Now, that's playing out globally, right in front of our eyes.
Ancient accounts, even Sumerian and later Hellenic sources, spoke of the bee blessed. They would become healers, visionaries, sometimes oracles, and occasionally outcasts.
So, in your opinion, is this really passing on some actual source power, like old world magic? Or is it just total mass psych phenomenon?
For the first time in my life, I'm willing to say, no, this can't be brushed off. There's a pattern. Something ancient just woke up, and it's changing people, right now.
It's not just Aurillac anymore, is it? Reports are coming in from places like England, Greece, even parts of Mexico. People being marked, new swarm incidents.
Right. What's wild is that these locations are all on or near known ley lines or ancient sites. Some authorities are quietly stepping in, monitoring, or even quarantining people who have the spiral marks. But then there's the public side. Online forums for the marked popping up overnight. I've seen B-bloomers on Discord sharing recovery tips, dream diaries, and even calls to converge at hives or sacred grounds. It's going global overnight.
You've said you think this might actually be beneficial if we handle it respectfully, like a return of collective consciousness.
Exactly. Empathy, healing, even synchronized visions. Humanity balancing out after centuries of disconnect. If we let fear run the show, sure, it could go sideways. But there's a huge opportunity here. a real bridge between the modern and the mythic.
Milo, if you could go back, would you want to get marked? I mean, if you had the chance, would you accept that risk personally?
Bit of a confession, I actually do bear a spiral mark from an experiment years ago with oracle honey at Delphi. I've lived with the dreams, the empathy. It's both a gift and an overwhelming responsibility. But yes, even knowing the challenges, I wouldn't take it back. Not for a second.
So, what we're looking at isn't just a freakish accident or random aggression from nature. It's the resurgence of something humanity tried to bury, a signal from the oldest parts of our collective memory.
Honestly, the idea of connected dreams and global empathy is actually kind of hopeful. But also, if I saw a bee swarm coming down my street, I'd still probably run screaming.
Oh, absolutely. And if any of us did become B-blessed, I wonder, what would you do first, Skye?
Okay. I'd totally use it to finally heal my anxiety and maybe make my apartment plants bloom for once. You?
Honestly, group hive-dream therapy sessions sound like something the world could use right now.
If I ever end up in LA again, we're doing a ceremonial honey tasting. No TikTok rituals, just safe spirits and good people. Promise.
Yes! Only safe, drama-free magic on this show. And no swarming the editing suite. Brian would never forgive us. That's all for today's Spiral Emanations. Huge thanks to Dr. Milo Zanis for joining us. Everybody check out the Swarm Mind channel for more mind-blowing bee lore and Milo's updates on the global Melissae phenomenon.
Absolutely, Milo. Your insight today was extraordinary. We'll have links to your work in the show notes for everyone who's curious.
And as always, remember to subscribe wherever you listen. Stay careful around beehives, everyone. You never know what ancient spirit could be waiting to say hello. Special gratitude to Brian, our sound engineer, who keeps our audio blissfully bee-free and levels perfect. We literally couldn't do this without him. All right, Spiral Emanators, stay awake, stay curious, and never underestimate the little things. We'll see you next time.